Hello, everyone. Welcome to our show tonight. Of course, tonight will be a special night because we are discussing a very, I would say, topics that resonate with a lot of us entrepreneurs. Because after all, we are dealing with stress on a daily basis. And the topic for today, of course, will be overcoming your mental health issues during crisis. Of course, tonight we are very honored to have Dr. Sangeeta to be our guest. Of course, she's the founder of Emerging Journey Asia, EJA, and CEO for Emergenetics Malaysia, a dedicated mental health advocates, human capital development, and assessment tools. Dr. Sangeeta has over 20 years of experience in her field of human capitals and uses different creative approaches in her interactions. Welcome to the show, Doctor.
Hello, hi.
Of course, the main topic, because before we go right into the discussion, is what actually is a mental health issue.
Okay, so thank you, Datuk Chua, for this opportunity and welcome all on board. Okay, so mental health is something that we go on in our daily life. Okay. Yeah. So mental health is more about us. How do we manage? How do we make decisions? How do we get things done? All right.
Okay.
So I have a slides later that I can show about what is mental health and what's the difference between mental health and mental illness.
I see. Okay, that's good. So, before we go through that, maybe Doctor, you can share with us, because right now, as you know, everyone is under MCO still, and some of us have resumed back to work. During MCO period, a lot of people are feeling, directionless. They don't know what are the next course or what are the next things that were going to happen or next phase of their life. So everyone is in a way uncertain. They have fear. We know for sure we are in the crisis because IMF told us so. It says that we're gonna go into a global recession. So during this crisis, what are the things that we should prepare ourselves?
Okay, so when we talk about crisis, right? Different people look at crisis differently. Okay, because some individual they look at crisis and they reframe it and change it into something else. But some individuals look at crisis like really banging them. They feel very down. They feel very low. And since 18 March till today, we have been at home. Most of us have been at home except just this past few days, and we have developed a lot of things. Okay, meaning we have developed anxiety. We might have developed depression, panic, OCD, and so many things, right? So in order for us to go out, from this, we need to reframe our mindset. We need to reframe our mind and say that it's okay and we will survive. Okay? Because according to one research from Cleveland Hospital in US, every day we have 6,000 thoughts. Okay?
6,000 thoughts.
60,000 thoughts. So every day,
60,000 thoughts.
60,000 thoughts. Yeah. So we'll be thinking and thinking and thinking. 60,000 thoughts. Okay. From that 60,000 thoughts, okay, 95% are repeated. That means whatever we are thinking, it is repeated 95%. Okay.
Oh, okay.
From that
That's an interesting fact.
From that 95%, 80% are negative thoughts. So can you imagine from the time you wake up till the time you sleep, okay, your mind will be playing approximately 45,000 plus minus, negative thoughts in your mind. Okay, especially right now when we are going through this crisis, right? When we are going through crisis, when we are going through trauma, the negative thought will come out more often. So when these negative thoughts come out often, how are we going to manage it? Because we are
Yeah.
not trained to manage our thought. We are not trained to look into emotion. We are not trained to talk about it. Our parents don't teach us. Even in school, we don't know what is it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we look into mental health? How do we address these issues? So there's so many ways which I can share later in the slides, but just
Okay.
by reframing your thoughts, okay, meaning that if you look at it originally negative, it just arrived, you need to make sure whether
Mm-hmm.
is this a fact or is this something that is playing in my mind, because most of the time it might not be
Understand.
the fact, it just be you know um, thoughts that will be playing in your mind, so you need to look at that. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how can we be positive in the
Mm-hmm.
oceans of negativity?
All right. How to be positive? There's so many different ways that you can look. There's so many ways that you need to address. Okay, because
Mm-hmm.
different people, different personality look at it differently. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
someone who has more social preference. Okay, social preference is where they
Mm-hmm.
enjoy meeting people, they enjoy communicating with people, they look at things differently. Okay,
Yeah.
compared to someone who preferred to analyze things. Okay, being
Okay.
analytical, they prefer to analyze, they like to look at the facts, they like to look at the figures. So different people look at it differently. And in terms of
Mm-hmm.
behavior, there are people who don't really express themselves, there are people who are expressing themselves. So you need to
Mm-hmm.
address that also, because what works for you might not work for me.
Okay.
Yes. So you need to understand your personality. Am I someone who is, in a word, people use the term introvert, or am I
Mm-hmm.
someone who is extrovert? But these are just
Okay.
terms because it's being generalized and it's being stereotyped. Introvert is quiet, extrovert is noisy. So, but
Mm-hmm.
you need to understand where you are coming from.
Okay.
All right.
Talking about introvert, extrovert,
Mhm.
can an introvert be extrovert?
Definitely. Definitely. Because, and if vice versa, an extrovert can be an introvert also. Okay, so when you look at it, introvert is not that they don't like people, okay,
Mm-hmm.
but they like to keep their thought to themselves, they like to think about it. Okay, I show you an example, right?
Yeah.
If right now both of us having this conversation, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask you question, but the way you respond to me, it will not be immediate. You will
Mm-hmm.
take some time to process the question that I'm asking
Okay.
and before you voice it out. Okay? But it doesn't
Yeah.
make you an introvert, like, you don't express. People always say introvert not shine, they are not, they don't work in the team, they cannot communicate with people. No. It's just that they
Mm-hmm.
need extra time to process that information. And by the time they give you the results or they reply you, it will be something that is detailed or got information inside there.
Okay.
Whereby an extrovert, okay, so an extrovert is where when you talk, if you just say now I'm talking to you, you will be replying to me also, okay. Like I thought you talk, I
Yes.
thought you talk. All right. So that's most of the time people think that for you to shine, for you to make it out there, for you to run your business, you need to be an extrovert. Actually, no. Because when you don't give time to process information, how sure are you that you are, you know, making it a progress, or that there's a set of plan that you're supposed to do?
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, like an entrepreneur, right? If they know they are someone who prefers to go out, meet people, and all that, and they find that staying in the office and do paperwork, do proposal, do report is difficult, they need to
Mm-hmm.
delegate that job to someone who is able to do it.
Yeah.
And this is one of the cause of mental health, because you need to address yourself. You need to address what you are good at. Okay? And then something that you feel that you need to be more active or someone to do it, delegate those jobs.
I see.
Because if you don't do it, you will take longer time and you will have burnout. Because you start doing so many different things.
Okay. Yeah. So, Doc, I know you're gonna share us some slides of of some of the key points for discussion today. Would you want to go ahead sharing with us?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So I'm going to share a little bit about mental health, because most of the time people are, people think mental health means you need to go and see a psychiatrist, or you're going to become gila, and you're going to be locked up. Like in the movies where they put they will tie you up and all that. But actually, if you talk about mental health, right? Mental health is where you are able to function at a satisfactory level in terms of your emotion and behavior. All right? Meaning, you're still able to wake up in the morning, you're still able to go to work, you're still able to do things, you can eat, you can sleep. So this is where you are functioning at a satisfactory level. All right? This is what we call about mental health. Then mental illness is where somebody unable to function at their optimum level. Okay?
Okay.
Meaning that they have severe anxiety. Okay? They have severe depression. They have bipolar, or they are hallucinating, schizophrenia. These are mental illness. Okay? So mental illness is where you need to seek medication. You need to see a psychiatrist. You need to get meditation in terms of your recovery journey. Okay? And people with mental illness, if they take medicine, they follow that recovery journey, they are able to work. They're able to go and they're able to function well. So what about people like us, right? We can function at a satisfactory level, but there will be stages in our life that we feel that we cannot sleep. We feel that, right now when MCO will be lifted, we're afraid to go out because we have developed, we might develop some sort of mild fear, mild anxiety, mild panic. If someone cough in front of us, will we go berserk? So what do we? So this is what I called it mental health challenges. All of us go through it. Okay. So mental health challenges is that you are able to function, but at the same time, there are some moment in your life you feel that you cannot cope, you cannot do things. Okay. So this is where there are few ways that you can do, is either reaching out to people or you yourself look at intervention that will assist you. Okay. So remember I talked about counselors and psychiatrists. So now I want you to understand these three terms, because sometimes people don't know the meaning. Okay. So if you look at it, you can see there's counselors, there's psychologists and psychiatrists. So for counselor and psychologists, they are not medical doctors. All right. They cannot give medicine. Okay.
Okay.
For counselors, they can have masters in counseling or degree in counseling, and they see people who have daily problems. Daily problems like, maybe they have stress, or maybe they are unable to sort out certain issues in their life, or maybe they feel that, they are unable to cope. Okay. Psychologists is where an individual need to get bachelor in psychology or masters in psychology. Okay. They can diagnose, but they cannot give medicine. Then we have the psychiatrist, who is a medical doctor. Okay. Then they go into the area of psychiatrist, and they can prescribe medicine. So these are the three areas if you want to look, but these are the common one, right? Then
Yeah,
below
yeah.
there, you have the school counselors, then you have marriage counselors or psychologists,
Yeah.
and all different
Okay.
things. Yeah.
Okay.
So
All
I
right.
want people to understand these three. All right.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
yeah. So for people who need help, assistance during this crisis, if you are an employer, you have foreigner, but you don't know how to address them, you can go to UNHCR, or maybe you want to talk to, few of helpline support that you can get. Okay, these are also another help hotline that you can call if you need any information. All right. Okay. Another thing that I would like to show is in Malaysia, 1 in 3 or 1 in 4 will suffer from mental health. They will go through mental health problems. Okay. That is general mental health. Now, 1 in 5 will suffer from depression. Yes?
1 in 5 will suffer depression. Okay.
Depression. Yes.
That's quite high, right? Okay.
It's
right.
high, yeah. Yeah. And
Two
2
in
in
five.
5 will have anxiety. 1 in 10 will suffer from stress. Okay, when we talk about stress, there's a lot of people talk about, the word stress has been used widely. Okay, so people need to understand that there
We
are
have a question, Doc.
yes. Oh, there has a question. Okay.
One of our viewers asked, any Chinese version for helping line? Not to say Chinese version. Any can they converse in Mandarin or
Yes, can.
Cantonese?
Can.
Which are the hotlines that can do that?
Okay, you can go to Souls. This one. Souls can do in different languages. You can also call befrienders. Okay, there are also you call Buddhist association. So you can converse in Mandarin or different dialects. So you can ask for assistance. Yeah. Even Women Aid Association, there are people who can converse in what you call that in Chinese. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, good.
All right. Okay.
All right, continue.
All right. So okay. So when we
you gotta help us to differentiate between all those, is it? Anxiety, depression, panic, stress, etc. The symptoms for it.
Okay. So if you look at the symptoms, most of it you have similar symptoms. All right. But there are ways that I can show you, I can share a little bit, but I want to touch on the stress because most of the time people think stress are bad, but actually stress are good.
Okay.
If a short-term stress, you need to have a short-term stress because short-term stress is where you motivate yourself to do things. You get the task done. For example, you have a tender to submit. Okay, so your tender normally, if you government tender, it give you like few days or 1 week, correct? Or maybe 14 days. So during that 14 days, you'll be stressed up because you need to complete that tender. That is good stress because that good stress is for you to submit your paper, get it done, and over with. So you need stress to get things done. Then, if the stress being prolonged for a longer time, that is where we call bad stress. Okay, so when it comes to bad stress, you need to do some coping mechanism. So coping mechanism, I show you later in the slide. What things that you can do. All right. So depression is something that you feel about the past, which you cannot get over with. Anxiety is something that you fear about the future. So when we talk about anxiety, so when you talk about anxiety, OCD can be OCD, panic, anxiety. Okay, symptoms are similar because you're worried about what's going to happen next. And
OCD is what? Compulsive disorder.
Yeah. That means now with this COVID, right? Everybody must wash hand. So imagine people who already have OCD. How will the degree of their OCD will be? And for us who, like for me, I do not have OCD, right? So right now, if I go out, I might develop mild OCD because it's been ingrained into my brain since the start of COVID. You need to wash your hand, you need to sanitize your hand, you need to wash your hand, you need to sanitize. So it's in my mind. You know, so these are the things that you might not have previously, but now you might have, might have a mild fear. Okay. We do have individual who bosses who feel that when they talk to the staff, suddenly the staff cough, they feel like, oh my god, is this staff have COVID or not? You know, so it will be in us because of the experience that we have gone through for the past 40 over days. And also, whatever that we read, whatever that we view in social media, in messages, is most of the time brings up your negative thoughts, brings up your fear. All right? Okay. So this research by Reuters says that, okay, I'm going to go to the blue one, yeah? By the year 2030, 38% people will suffer from excessive pressure on the job. Okay, 24% will be actively disengaged at work. 2.3 million people will have work related debt, and 313 million will have work related accident. So what I'm saying is right now, people don't look at mental health as important, because for them, physical health is important. Because physical, you can see, you can see, you can touch, you can feel. But mental, you cannot see, you cannot touch. And even if you have that feeling, that emotion, you will just brush it away. And most of the time, people do that. They just brush the emotion away. But it will come back again. It will come back again. So you need to address that. All right? Okay. So according to this research by Michael Freeman, a psychiatrist from University of California, where he said that entrepreneurs, 50% are more likely to develop mental health issues. All right?
I'm not surprised with the stress.
Yes, isn't it? You have to do so many things. Yeah. And then 2 times suffer from depression. Okay. 6 times more from ADHD.
What is ADHD?
Attention deficit, because you'll be like moving from one task to another task to another task. One part you become, you sit to do the proposal. Another one, you need to reply message. Another one, you need to go and do presentation. You need to do marketing. You need to be on site. So you are moving constantly from one to another. Okay. Then 3 times you might suffer from substance abuse. Why? You see, most of the time, entrepreneurs don't share, right? So when they don't share, sometimes they feel that, okay lah, I just drink one more pack of wine or whiskey or whatever.
Yeah, another bottle will do.
Yes, right? Or they might develop smoking. They might take drugs, because when they take that, it will influence your brain. Okay,
addictions, it can be drinking, it can be any sort of addictions.
It can be, yes, and also different things. You can be addicted to, It can be to the extreme bad if you don't manage and take care, if you're not mindful. All right, and 10 times you might suffer from bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder meaning one day or this moment you can be very friendly, another moment you can just get angry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mood swing basically.
Okay. So this
Ed Zarin just commented, he said, entrepreneurship is a very lonely road.
Yeah, true. Because again, we need to look at it, our ego. If we think, do our ego need to be there, or do my ego become lesser, or do I am a lesser person if I seek out for help? So we need to understand that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes entrepreneurs, those fields that I know they are those tahan lasak type For them is every time solution come to me. Every time an issue or problem comes to me, I will find a solution.
Yes.
I will be able to solve it by my own self.
Correct. So when you have that, what will happen, right? So it will become high work demand already. Okay, if you look now at the entrepreneur stressor, it become a high demand because you have a staff where you can delegate, but then the staff come back to you. So it end up you do extra work. Okay, and then you have high self expectation. You have a certain expectation, and if that staff don't do as per your expectation, nothing works. You feel that it's not there. All right, so you need to understand all this. Entrepreneur, so one of the stressor is risk taking. Every single thing is risk taking. Okay, it can be from getting new job, getting new employee, getting new business. There's so many ways that you're always taking risk. All right, so when you're taking risk, sometimes you don't look at so many things because it's all will be stuff inside, right? So at the end, it will be what? Okay, happy hour, or you're just going to drop everything, or you cannot sleep because you start to overthink.
Yeah.
So that is why it's very important. And another thing about entrepreneur also is work-life balance, because they feel that they need to get it done. Every opportunity there, I need to get it done. So it becomes a stress.
So for them, it's like this: work-life balance. Entrepreneur's definition is if your work is your life, then it's a balance.
Yeah. So, but now, if you are single and if you are someone who prefers to do things alone, you have no other commitment, it's okay. But the pressure, the problems will come later on when you have a family. You know, is your spouse understanding? Is your children understand the scenario that you're going through? And most of the time, men don't really share their emotion because they feel it's my problem. I will settle it myself. As long as I provide my family, yes, I provide my family, you are good at it, that's it. So they keep. Why? Because men from very young, they've been groomed not to cry, you know, not to show emotion because you need to be macho. So are you telling me men don't have emotion? Are you telling me men's heart is a rock? No, right? You still have emotion. You still can do. So this needs to be out. So that is why work-life balance, you need to understand. And one more thing is that if you keep on going on the high fuel, that means you keep on working, most of the time you might not achieve what you really want. If you don't strategize, if you don't take the break. And that is why burnout happens.
Okay.
Burnout happens is then they just let go. And there are extreme cases where people just kill themselves because they cannot cope. When go to office, there's a lot of issues. Then there's financial problem. And then back home, family is not understanding. So what's the use? In the mind, it will be what I'm doing for the family, but they don't think about me. What more can I give? What more can I do? So that's where they go through that state and they will just, think that they want to quit their life. So that
now
is
we have a question. We have a question, Doc. It says stress, under stress, but how do we know whether we have anxiety, we have depression, we have panic, we have all those? We know that we are stressed. But how do we know that is it anxiety or is it depression or is it panic or things like that?
Okay.
How do we differentiate?
Okay. So again, like I mentioned earlier, you have, for example, like panic, OCD, anxiety, fear. All these are symptoms. For example, like, someone do something, you will get, you will have this unpleasant emotion. Okay. Or, for example, you have your phone, and every time when someone send message, you straight away check. That can be part of anxiety. That means constantly doing things.
Okay.
All right. Depression, it can be like you don't want to talk to people. You just want to be alone. Meaning it's a change of behavior. For example, last time you like to go out, you like to meet people, now you isolate yourself. Okay? You need to understand, yeah, because as an entrepreneur, you wear mask when you are outside. Everyone wear mask. Not only entrepreneur, everyone wears mask because different role, yeah. So what is inside of you, you might mask it, and when you meet client, when you do things, when you talk to your staff, then you wear a certain mask to show that you are okay, you are strong, you can get things done. But deep down inside, you feel empty, you feel lonely, you feel that not worth it. So remember the 40 over 1,000 of negative thought will play in your mind?
Yes.
So you need to address that. Because there's so many symptoms that are interlinked. So you need to know where, you need to be mindful of it. Because we cannot tell specifically for anxiety, these are the symptoms. For depression, these are the symptoms. We cannot specifically tell you that. It's exactly like flu, right? You see, like you have normal flu, you just take Panadol, you're okay. But now with COVID flu, you cannot use Panadol, you must take something else. But the symptoms are the same. You know? You might have dry cough, you might have sore throat, you must have fever. So these are similar symptoms, but to address it will be different. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to go to the next slide. Okay. This one, I would like to show one of the stressor. Yeah? If you can see the three color, you have the blue, the brown, and the green. Okay. The blue represent sales or revenue less than 2 million. Okay. The brown represent revenue 2 to 5 million. The green represent revenue of more than 5 million. So these three category, when we talk about entrepreneurs, okay, 72% of entrepreneurs who are worrying about cash flow comes from businesses that are lesser than 2 million in revenue. You got me?
Meaning to say, can you repeat again? Yeah.
Okay. Meaning, when we talk about I'm going to take one about cash flow. Yeah. In cash flow, you see the blue one is 72%, correct? So the meaning
you can use your mouse cursor to point at the
okay.
area.
So this 72% business that are that have less than 2 million revenue. Okay, for example, in a year you only have 1 million or 500,000. They think about cash flow more. That means it create more stress for them compared to business who have more than 5 million in revenue. You see, 72% and 51%.
Oh, okay. Yes. Understand.
Okay. Yeah, that means it's the
so the higher your revenue, the less likelihood you're gonna face with this stress issue.
In a way, but again, you see, when we talk about high expectation, right? Higher revenue and lesser revenue is almost the same.
Almost the same, yes.
Yeah, right? And if you look at performance, all right, firm and organization performance, it's similar between the high, middle, and low revenue. When it comes to time management, lower revenue will have higher because they need to do everything, right? Because they are so good.
Multitask.
Yes. So this is how we look at the example of entrepreneur stressor. All right?
Okay.
Okay.
Understand.
So So what are the burnout?
I gotta cut you for a while. So for all our viewers here, do ask more questions, and if you want it to be answered, we have doctor in the house. She will help you to answer some of the questions. And my side also, I gotten some questions from my watch party. So later I'll share with you.
Okay, I'll just run through briefly a little bit more. Yeah.
Okay.
So next, what we have is what are the burnout, right? It can be from in the terms of mental, physical, emotion, or start feeling distant. Okay. So this is how it happens. Sometimes when you have good business, when you get your first client or you have big project, you suddenly feel excited. Yeah, I got this project, right?
Yeah.
Then suddenly
it's always a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, suddenly you feel like, oh my God, do I have the resources? Do I have enough people to do this? Do I have that? Then suddenly you go down. And then when you get it right, you feel it's working, it'll be good. Then you receive a few feedback, you go down again. You know, so it's always up and down. So when it's up and down, when do entrepreneurs really sit and strategize? Okay, strategize in terms of not the work, because you are expert in what you do. That's why you're an entrepreneur. You are doing something that you want to do. You are doing something that you want to have the freedom to do it, right? So when it comes to work, you are the best. But when it comes to your emotion, are you really look into your emotion? Do you really look into, okay, now I'm feeling down, I cannot do this, I'm going to stop? Do you do that? Because if you know and you are aware of your own mental stress, okay, you need to stop. Because if you continue, you might reply email to wrong individual. Okay? Or you might reply email because you are angry, right? Sometimes when you reply email, because wow, simple thing also you don't know, I must send you this. So when you type the message, it might turn out to be something else. All right, which you might regret later. So that is why take a pause. Take a pause meaning just stop for a while. Because when you stop, when you sit and when you breathe, then you give time to recover from that emotion, that negative thought that you have, and then you go down. So it's always up and down. Okay. Another one that I'm going to share is, okay, so these are the numbers when we talk about physical and mental stress of entrepreneur. Yeah, if you see the blue one is where you have employee less than 10. Okay, the green one is where employee more than 50. All right, so what it says that people who have lesser employee, they feel tired faster, they feel stressed. Okay, people who have less employee will have disturbed sleep. Okay, all right, and then I'm going to take another one. People who have less employee also, they look at hopelessness. They feel there's no hope, I cannot get this thing done, I'm not worth it, and so many things. So these are the factors. If you look at it, sometimes your mood will go up and down. 53% when you talk about depressed is those who have employee which is less than 10.
Okay.
Because sometimes they want to get things done, but it's not fast as how they want it. It's again based on personality. People who have a lot of energy, who always keep on moving, when they see things are not moving as fast as they want, they will go through that. People who lost money, entrepreneurs who lost money, but they know their project will work, they want to get it fast, but do they get the support that they need? Or they carry the past failure, okay, even though they can see directly they can achieve, but they carry the fear of past failure, and that will stop them from getting things done.
Understand.
Yeah, because entrepreneur, end of the day, it's not like you are employed, you get income, you can take MC, you can take leave, you can go holiday. There are entrepreneurs who doesn't go for holiday, doesn't take that break.
Yeah.
There are
Not every entrepreneur makes tons of money. Okay.
No. And there are entrepreneurs also who, whatever money that they get, they pump it back to the company. So it's okay if you don't take money, as long the business move, as long the business grow, as long my employees get salary. There are entrepreneurs like, they don't even take MC, they will still work. Even though they need that, even though the body tells them to stop, you need to stop, they will still push. Okay, there are entrepreneurs who just can't sleep. They'll be thinking and thinking, especially
talking
right
about
now.
sleep. We have one question on that. How do I get back to normal sleep pattern, because I can't sleep these days?
Okay, so
I think it should be insomnia already, right?
Yes, but we need to know in which level, okay? Which level. It can be short term. When we talk about short term, that means now you have the crisis and then you think about it, so you can't sleep. But if the sleep pattern is not there and it develops longer, that's where you need to uh, reverse it. Reverse it meaning try to you see, people who have insomnia, who cannot sleep, right? They feel tired most of the time because they cannot sleep.
Of course.
So daytime they will want to take a nap, or sometimes they just sit on the sofa, right? They watch movie, they can just sleep, or people who feel that they cannot concentrate because they don't have enough of sleep. They cannot concentrate, therefore they might not do things what they're supposed to do. Okay, and also it can lead to depression. Okay, or it can lead to anxiety. So how to reverse this? To develop a habit, it must be more than 21 days. And to maintain in that habit, it must be more than 90 days. The longer, the better. Okay, so we have been at home for more than 40 days.
Yes. So
So
habit already been established.
Yes, it's already a pattern in your mind that, your mind automatically will be alert at night to do overthinking. So the things that you can do to reduce that activity is try to shut down. I know it's not easy, but you need to practice. You need to shut down by 10 or latest by 11. Shut down meaning off your laptop, off your phone, and just focus on, maybe you listen to relaxation music. You do a deep breathing activity before you sleep. Or some of you might just want to drink hot milk if it works for you. If you don't have dyslexic in your, symptoms, you can drink milk. But most of the time, when I talk about this, people tend to drink before sleep because it will, it will brush away your worries.
Okay.
So imagine if you keep on drinking, it will develop a habit.
Yes.
Then it becomes substance abuse. Then you create a new problem right now, addiction.
Okay.
All right. So you need to go back. It's not easy because you have developed this pattern and this habit, but trust in yourself. Slow in your recovery. Take your pace. You will get better. All right.
Okay. We have the other question.
Yes.
The other question, it says any other medication or supplements that I can take to handle this negativity mind?
Okay. So when it comes to medication and all that, I'm not a medical doctor. All right. I'm research.
Or supplements. Some says you can take lavender.
Yes.
And what?
Yeah. So there's there's so many ways, right? When people say you use essential oils. So
we also have another question that says we have two questions on insomnia. Okay, for insomnia patient, do you recommend taking any relaxant?
Okay. I don't recommend take any relaxant. I don't recommend if you take sleeping pill because after some time it will not work. When it not work, you will take double dose or triple dose. Okay, then you'll be immune to that medication. So the best is try to take vitamin B. Okay, again, please seek your doctor. All right, I'm not a medical doctor, but if you take fruits, you eat nuts, seeds, you eat vegetable, you eat fish, you eat meat. These are source of vitamin B12 and B6. So this
magnesium also, they are saying it helps.
Yeah, because it will regulate your brain function. Okay, that means your mood will change. You feel better because that are brain food, we call it. Yeah. And another thing that you can do is get enough sunlight. Get your vitamin D. Go out. Some of you in your apartment, you cannot get direct sunlight. In the morning, just walk. If you get at least 5 minutes of sunlight, is good. Okay, you might not want it to be on your face lah, right? Then suddenly you become tan like my color like that. But you can, for those who are, fair, you don't want to become like tan color like me. So you can face behind, let it touch your neck, because your neck is your brainstem and your bones, right, are moving behind one straight line. So you need the sunlight. Go and walk, get enough sunlight, because it helps you in your sleep. Okay.
Just the other day, I had, I think 2 weeks back, 2 or 3 weeks back, I had this Zoom meeting. So just because I couldn't sleep well for the past few weeks, so I just randomly asked the group this question: any one of you are facing any sleeping difficulty? And guess what? We have 15 people in the group in the Zoom meeting, and all 15 is experiencing the same problem. They can't sleep.
Yeah. So
what other things can we do to counter this?
Don't look at negative stories. Okay.
But that's newspaper, That's newspaper.
Yes. So when you have newspaper, don't look at a negative story. Go to sports. Go to, some gossip.
Even sports also all negative.
Gossip. Look at gossip. Watch comedy. Watch, all these stand-up comedian talk. Watch something that will lift you up. You see, when we read too much, when we see too much, okay, all this will go into your subconscious. So it will be implanted in your memory. You don't know, but it will show in the way your action, in the way of you do things. And right now with this COVID, we can hear, right, a lot of company bankrupt, a lot of hospitality, a lot of hotel closed down, a lot of business cannot cope. So when you start listening to all this negative, right, you make believe that your business is also going to go into that scenario. Okay? Because we are more attracted to negative. All right? But if you look at it, there's also good news. You look at sale, online sale, you look at learning platform, you look at so many things that you can do. So imagine, okay, or maybe you have a conventional, traditional approach. How can you make it modern right now? Last time, everything that you do, what, paper, right? Accounts also do paper lah, HR document also paper lah, then you staple, you file, right? So when during COVID, you cannot go to office because you need documents. You find it difficult. So learn or find out, how can I convert this paper into paperless? So you need to go into that mode. Find out, reach out. You might not want to reach out to telecounseling, or you might not want to reach out to counselors or psychiatry, but you have your friends, fellow entrepreneur, who you can reach out to, or your support system. Who is your support system is important. So shift that, because the moment you shift that, then you start learning new things. When you learn new things, your mind becomes curious. When your mind becomes curious, you are able to look at things differently, and you know, how can I make my business better? But when you keep on listening, wow, this company, lay off, retrench 20 people, this company bankrupt, this company lose money, the government is this business is like that. You talk about so much negative, it will increase fear. When it increases fear, you cannot perform. When you cannot perform, you cannot do well in your business. When you cannot do well in your business, your productivity and your profit reduce. When your product reduce, that's where your roller coaster come in. All right? It's good to have roller coaster rather than one straight line, right? But still, you need to manage this roller coaster. If you don't address that, if you don't address this roller coaster emotion up and down, day in, day out, you will still do the same thing. And you still feel the same thing. And you will still do the same mistake. Because you think you are right. Because you think that, no other things I can do. Because they are entrepreneur, right? They hold to their knowledge. They hold to their thing very tightly. They don't want to let go a little bit. Okay? remember this, the moment you let go a little bit, can you see there's gap in my hands? That's where you fill in with more information, more learning, more opportunity. If you hold it tightly, you can't get the opportunity because you already seal everything. You know? So you need to look at ways how you can go and explore. That's why we always say there's no one way to get things done. There's so many different ways. But are you open enough to get that ways? Because if you're closed, that's it. Okay?
But a lot of time, but a lot of time, entrepreneurs, we are very competitive. So sometimes when you are competitive, you tend to compete or compare. Hey, I'm doing this and this guy is doing that. You know, comparison come into place. And the next question we have to examine is the self-worth. What is my self-worth? What is others people's perception about me? So how do we deal with that?
All right. So like what you mentioned earlier, entrepreneurs are memang competitive because we need to get things done, right? If we don't go fast and get it, opportunity will lost. So it's your mindset. Is your mindset is a growth mindset or your mindset is a fixed mindset? All right. And rather than look at that person and compare yourself like apple to apple, why don't you look at what is your strength, what is your skill that you can give additional? You got me? For example, right? Okay, for example, like I'm a trainer. Okay, what I do training, I do leadership, I talk about team building, I talk about mental health. Right? There are another trainer who do leadership, who do team building. But what makes me different from them? So you need to understand your self-worth. You need to understand what you are good at that nobody can touch that. Because if I tell you, if I open up, I can find everywhere there will be, if I have a pool of trainers, almost every trainer is a team building trainer. Almost every trainer a leadership trainer, correct? But what makes you different than that trainer? You need to sit and write. Because if you don't sit and write, that's where you don't understand your self-worth. You know, and there are entrepreneurs who will go below market price because they think if they go below market price, the client will want you. So they spoil the market. You got me? So when they spoil the market, so are you telling me your self-worth is below market price? Okay, then meaning every time when a client have this budget, they only see you for one time and that's it.
They think by killing themselves, they can kill all their competitors.
No. Because, and this is another thing, right? When you talk about entrepreneur, when they go, they put the value lesser, but they'll give higher expectation. Down the road, do you think they are happy? I put a lot of effort, I just got peanut lah. What lah? Then they blame the client. They will not blame themselves because they are the one who put their value down.
The level of service that you give is unmatchable if you are sacrificing on your margin.
Yes, because after some time, that's it.
Yeah.
So you need to understand. So when we talk about self-worth, it's not for you to compare your ability to another ability. You compare what can you give in terms of you must be happy with it. Because over some time, your self-worth will increase. You see, self-worth don't come just like that. Okay? Everyone needs affirmation. Everyone feel good when someone say good things about you. That's where you increase your self-worth. But another self-worth, are you improving yourself in learning new things? You know, if you keep on giving the same thing, but your competitor are educating themselves to be better, so how?
Yeah. So basically, people that have high self-worth, of course, they will have growth mindset. They see
Yeah.
things in abundance. Yeah. So, and they are also generally more positive. This will be the key points that we, you know, our main discussion about. So at the end of the day, how do we stay on being positive? What I mean for you, what do you do on a daily basis
Okay.
to, you know, to stay
Uh,
positive?
I think it's um I reevaluate my priorities. Okay, meaning, you see, when you set your priorities, this priority can shift after a week, after a month. All right,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes priority can shift even after a day. So every day I set my priorities, I reevaluate. And I can swing, you know, today I do this, then tomorrow I do another thing, and then the following week I can come back to that same thing. But knowing what needs to be done now is important. Because most of the time when we list our priority, we put everything as priority. We
Mm-hmm.
don't segregate it something that is priority, important, can do later. So
Mm-hmm.
when you reevaluate your priorities, it becomes clear. All right. Express my feeling. I always express that I feel like I cannot get it done and all that. I just express. And I tell my staff, you know, today I have so many things running in my mind. So I would appreciate if you can assist me in something. You see, it doesn't make me a lesser person. It doesn't make me feel that I am incompetent. It doesn't make me feel that I'm stupid. You got what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's about I'm getting support. So they know during that moment when I'm overly drained, they know that this is the time that she really need to shut down a little bit. You
Yeah.
know? That's it. Because if you don't tell, they don't know. They can't read your mind. You know, if you have
Mm-hmm.
family, you know, with my children, with my spouse, I just tell them, okay, now is my time.
Me time.
Yes, it's my me time, and my me time can be in the toilet. I just
Mm-hmm.
sit there
Yes.
because that is the best place for me to just sit.
Mm.
You know, that's where you can think. And like for me to clear my mind, last time I'll go for drive. Now cannot go for drive, ma. You know, stop here,
Now
stop
can.
there, right? I now just started lah, but still, you know, the fear of, wow, if I go further, will they stop me or not, you know? Like last time, I
Okay.
just drive to PD by myself. I can just sit, listen to the wave, touch the sand, I am done. And then by the time I come back, you know, listen to music, I'm good to go. But right now,
Mm-hmm.
too many things. So what I do, I just walk around and
Mm-hmm.
learn things. I always learn things. So your surviving mode is there. Your mindset is there to grow. You know, accept your flaws. It's okay if you tell people, I cannot do this now. Can we do it later?
Mm-hmm.
They will respect your decision. Because a
Yeah.
lot of entrepreneurs, they always say yes, 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 you know. Anything also they'll say yes.
Yes first and find the solution later.
Yes. Yes. Because we've been taught, right? Yes first, then find solution later. But what if you cannot find the solution? Okay? Things happen, right? Like, for example, now we got COVID. What solution we can get? We can only minimize, but the solution has yet to come, which is the, you know, what you call that, vaccine and all that. But what can you do? So it's the same thing. You need to look what can you get and how can you do it.
Yeah.
That is how you need to look. Mm.
Yeah.
More questions. Yeah.
Fantastic. Good sharing. Yeah,
Thank
good sharing.
you.
Okay. I think we are running out of time already.
Oh,
So thank you,
okay.
Doc, for your sharing. And for all of you, I mean, entrepreneurs or, you know, anyone out there, either you are a mother, a father, an employee, whoever you are, if you can hear us out, if you know that you are facing mental issues, you need
Mm.
to address it as early as you can. And, you
Yeah.
know, it can be all sorts of things. Like we have Glenn that shares listening to jazz music, relax before go to sleep, you know.
Lovely. Yes.
And the most important thing is if you know you are dealing or mingling with negative people, try to avoid that. And if you
Yes.
know that every day in the paper or the only things that comes out is negativity, try to avoid that as well, because it's
Mm.
okay, we can survive without news. And most importantly is how do we stay positive? Of course, everyone will have their own special and unique way to deal with it, but we have to stay on course. That's what I believe on. And progress is make one baby step at a time. So with that, thank you very much everyone that tuned in, and hope you all have a lovely weekends, and of course stay home and stay safe. All right, thank you very much.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Happy weekend.
Take care.
See
All
you.
right, bye bye.